Staying on Hillary, of course, Bill Clinton on the campaign trail for her, talking about the FBI interview, calling it, quote, a load of bull. Listen to this.
The FBI director said, when he testified before Congress, he had to amend his previous day's statement that she had never received any emails marked classified. They saw two little notes with a C on it. This is the biggest load of bull I ever heard.
So, Georgette, let me ask. I'm going to ask both Dennis and Georgette, but to you first. Is Bill Clinton a liability for Hillary, or is he helping her at all, especially on a comment like that?
Well, that is a liability, because that's a lot of bull. And people know when they, people know bull when they see it. And that was a lot of bull. He can also be an asset for her. I mean, he is charming, he is well-liked, but liability asset, probably more of a liability now because of he is a party boy. He does like to get out with the celebrities. These are things that pictures get out there, and she's got to explain them, etc. So I think he's more a liability than
Dennis, would you agree?
He's a terrific retail politician, and he can drive a message. And when he stays on message, nobody's better. What he should do in this case is stick to the facts. 30,000 emails, only 2 were marked with a small c.
Those facts. Are not the facts.
Well,
they're
the
not
facts.
The facts. I'm sorry, they're not the facts. At least 110 emails were sent. James Comey said at least 110 emails were sent or received by Hillary Clinton that were classified.
You need a magnify. 30,000 emails.
No matter how many times you say it, it's still not the facts.
They went through 30,000 emails with a magnifying glass to find a handful that they argue were classified.
Well,
that is not reckless.
A handful is a handful too many.
More importantly,
you are Secretary of State. A handful of classified material is too many.
And Dennis,
she
who yells the loudest doesn't necessarily win the argument.
All right, but Dennis, the fact remains that all of this, as we argue over how many, we're going through a private server in the basement of a home in Chappaqua, the nation's business. How appropriate is that?
Well, look, the question is whether or not there are any laws broken. The facts.
No, the question is,
the FBI director said, wait a minute.
The question is, how appropriate is that?
Well, the real issue is whether or not there was any violation of the law. There was no violation of the law. But if you really want to, the real issue is whether or not somebody was
judgment.
And you know what? The Democrats can't answer that, and Bill Clinton likely can't answer that question either. Was it reckless at the outset to put a private email server in somebody's home and have an agent's secrets go through it?
Yeah, if you don't let somebody answer, they can't answer. The truth is there was nothing reckless there's nothing reckless or careless here, and the FBI director, when he talked about the facts and the law, supported that. When he made political comments, he made political comments. But if you look at what he said about the facts and the law, there was in fact no recklessness here. You would have seen top secrets stamped all over the place,
and you
didn't see that.
James Comey was not asked about that.
You didn't see classified emails stamped top secret being flying around anywhere. So there's no recklessness, there's no carelessness evidence anywhere.
Dennis, I couldn't disagree more. The very fact that these emails were being put through a private email server, which is incredibly questionable at the very outset. Now we're questioning how classified messages were that were going through that server. You're missing the point, Georgia.
Well, I don't actually think so if you look at the facts.
You can say, you keep saying look at the facts. We are looking at the facts.
Were there 30,000 emails or not? There were 30,000 emails.
You can say that as many times. You can repeat it over and over and over again. It doesn't make your argument. She used poor judgment. She had a server in the basement of her house. And poor judgment. Do we want poor judgment in our president?
Well, look, if you want poor judgment, vote for the candidate that Putin is supporting.
Oh,
that's poor judgment.
That's a cheap shot.
I mean, if you want to talk about a scandal, you could talk about real scandals instead of phony scandals.
Cheap shot.
All right.
Not really. There's actually a scandal that's worthy of looking into.
She did nothing wrong by having a private email server with all the government's business going through it. Well, leave it right there, Dennis.
Yeah.
You stood your ground. You were wrong, but you stood your ground anyway. We appreciate it. Georgette, too. Thank you so much.